Hey Tammy, what's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing on this Tuesday afternoon? Well, evening. I'm sorry, night rather. It's not even even. It's night.
Well, I just want to rep for my cycling crew, sweat check lady riders, and Jen had this done for breast cancer, and Kimmy cut it up for me, so it's like cut and dope, and the sleeve kind of hangs. So, hi everybody.
And I am representing breast cancer. I guess I got to stand up a little bit. I
Hey,
have let your faith be bigger than your fear. Okay. So let's just talk about it. So this is our episode 32. We like to thank y'all for tuning in. Season 2 for us. Thank you for staying with us, guys, for this long and coming on here just to say hi. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you.
hi Jenny. Thanks for introducing us to Samad. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And we just like to say, well, so Tammy, how was your week so far?
My week was quite busy, so busy that my house looks like a monsoon rolled through it. Y'all know I'll get noise, so just work with me. Fast and the Furious comes down my street all the time. So I hung out. I did my first 6 miles with my bike crew this weekend. Jenny, after her injury of breaking her knee, she was out there, so that was really good. We went to Warnaco Park, and I want to say it was Roselle Linden up that way, and we did 6 miles around the park, and it was the those hills that hill that had me burning. So I know when I get in the gym, I got to get on that bike because it's a different thing from CrossFit, right? So other than that, I was cool. We went out Saturday night. We did a lot of stuff. I told Jenny I was at my people threshold for the month, but not so much because my earrings are too big. I get to see Tasha and the baby this weekend, so I'm excited about that because I'm gonna steal Samara and she's gonna be in my room for the whole weekend.
Oh gosh.
She won't see her parents at all. She looks like a little chocolate doll baby. Natasha, how was your week?
So for the weekend, of course, I had a busy weekend. I
Mm-hmm.
had a sad moment and then a happy moment. I actually had to go to one of my good friends' funeral, who passed away from cancer, actually colon cancer. Um, very dear to my heart. So I really don't want to talk about it anymore because I get emotional. But at a young age, she wasn't even 40 yet. So just want to let you guys know, make sure you get your colon checked or be your advocate for yourself. And then the same day I went to a wedding. One of my good friends, Anthea Cox. So
Woo!
congratulations, Anthea.
Congratulations,
Actually,
Nikia.
Mrs. Scruggs is her name. She married Curtis. So that was a beautiful wedding.
A wedding and a
Um,
funeral.
yes. In the same day, I was busy. Went to set up for the service, then went to the wedding and helped a little bit there. So I was running back and forth. And actually, that was in two different states.
Oh wow! One North Carolina, one Virginia, right?
Yes. So, and then after that, of course, Sunday we got back kind of relaxing, watch football and kind of get ready for the week. Busy week at work, of course, a lot of research and, nothing but data, a lot of data.
Data. COVID data for all kinds of data.
All COVID, falls, restraints, you name it.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with performance improvement for the VA hospital, I'm your girl.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're talking about episode 32 is prostate cancer, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
have a few things here. And Tammy, if you can click on the comments and display them while I talk about the prostate, that would be great. I appreciate your help.
It's only Jenny.
No, don't say it like that. Jenny, I'm gonna get her for that. Yes. All
Uh,
right.
she,
So
she said I did
so
it first. So thank you, Jen.
see, Jen, see how she just throw that at you like that? It's only Jenny. So, guys, for prostate cancer, right? There's more than 3.1 million men that are living with prostate cancer in the U.S. It's There are risk factors and appropriate actions you should take as far as your age, race, and family history. The best thing to do, of course, is screening. There may be no signs or symptoms during the early stage, but just make sure you do your prostate checks. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in men. Okay, let me just show y'all a little blip that we have here. This is some facts and figures of from 2020 and 2021. So there's an estimate, as you can tell, of new cases which have been on the rise from 20 to 21, and the estimate of deaths that has been on the rise. And then men that's being diagnosed like 2.7 minutes, now they're being diagnosed at 2 minutes, which is a great, because early detection is the best. And then men will die from the disease every 16, now 15 minutes. That's pretty
Wow.
large. That's a pretty
Wow, that
large
is a
number
lot.
right there. So we want to get that down, of course. And all this information we get was off of Zero, the end of prostate cancer. So I like to give them a shout out and thank you for displaying this information. If you go to zerocancer.org, you can get more information there about it. Okay. Um, let's go here.
Touch it. I was trying to get my earring change in between them.
See, she just have, outbursts every now and then. So excuse her. Excuse her, everybody.
Sorry, God.
She's not right in the head sometimes.
Yeah,
And it's
well.
only Tuesday. I mean, really. But in the meantime, guys, we have a special guest. And Tammy, do you want to tell them a little bit about Samad?
I'll let him introduce himself because I met him through, well, he was referred to me by Jenny, and I thank you, Jenny, again. And Samad is in the cycling world with us. I have yet to kind of go out on a big multi-crew ride, but we'll bring him in and we'll let him introduce himself. I know that he's an entrepreneur, he's a husband, he's a dad, and
He's a survivor.
he's a survivor. Right, right. So we'll let Samad introduce himself.
All right. Well, let's welcome Samad in.
Hi,
Hello.
Samad.
Hi,
Thank you for
Hello, how you
Samad.
coming.
ladies doing this evening?
Good. How are you? Welcome.
Good.
Welcome. Thank you
Mhm.
for accepting our invitation and joining us here at Fine and Tailored.
Absolutely. Need to get this information out there to anybody.
Absolutely.
So, Ahmad, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Samad, Tasha.
Oh, Samad. What did I call you?
Ahmad, you just making
Ahmad.
it very
I just took the S out. Ahmad.
I didn't know I'm used to it. It's okay.
Oh, see? Okay.
Yeah, I'm 57 years old. I'm avid cyclist, husband, father, and
Mhm.
again, well, all I do really is cycle. This is my passion. But I tell everybody that I can, especially everyone that I meet, that I'm a cancer survivor. You know, I cycle all the time, and people sometimes become amazed at some of the things we do when we cycle. And when I tell people that I'm a 57-year-old cancer survivor, they be like, wow. And I like to tell everybody my experience with having to go through cancer, prostate cancer, because it's really something devastating. And I love to see the numbers that you guys put up. My doctor told me when I was diagnosed that we couldn't even imagine the amount of Black men over the age of 60 who die from other things and never knowing they even had prostate cancer. That's how prevalent it is in our community. And it's something that a lot of elderly Black guys, we just don't go to the doctor, and it's something that we really need to be better at doing. I was blessed because I'm a stickler about health, so I always go to the doctor.
Okay, so Ahmad, just speaking about that, can you tell us how or up to the part when you got diagnosed for prostate cancer, how did this occur? Were you at the doctor's? Did you feel something? You know,
Well, it was a process with me, and most of the men who I've spoken with that had prostate cancer went through the same thing. I was about, I guess maybe 46, 47 years old when I started sleeping during the night. I couldn't sleep. I have to get up 3, sometimes 4 times in the night to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
And again, this is prevalent when you get older. So that was my first
It
case.
definitely is. Right?
I went to the doctor, and they said I had an enlarged prostate. So I got treated for that for several years, and the medication I was on helped me with not having to get up and go to the bathroom. So I kind of like put it to the back burner. But I went for a physical I was around 50 years old. I went for my yearly physical, and I had microscopic blood in my urine. And they checked me out. Everything was fine. And back in them days, you used to have to get the digital inspection, which is kind of excruciating for men. Uh, and they monitored me for a while, but for some reason, every time I would, give a urine specimen, I had microscopic blood in my urine. So the doctor said, "We need to find out what this is about." I had attributed it to cycling, so I didn't really worry about it because it is common among men who cycle a lot that happens. You get a little soreness down there. But I got a colonoscopy. I got the cystoscopy, which actually I'm having one Thursday also. And my PSA, I had a PSA test done, and my PSA level came back high. So once they did the PSA, they said, "Well, your levels are high. We need to do a biopsy." So they did a biopsy, and lo and behold, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Okay, okay. So were you at the doctor's by yourself at that time?
All by myself.
Okay.
Really had no worries. Me personally didn't have any worries. I'm think I'm still young now and healthy. And I
Right.
went to the doctor for after the biopsy alone by myself. And I remember like it was yesterday. The doctor come in the room, says, "Got bad news for you. You have prostate cancer," just like that. And I was numb for a while, and it
Right.
didn't bother me actually until I was driving home. And I got really emotional about it because, like I said, I don't have a family history of cancer at all. I have a sister. I call her my twin sister because we're 10 months apart. She had went through breast cancer a few years earlier. So me and her were the only ones in our immediate family, our distant family that had cancer at all. So it was really a shock for me.
Wow.
Okay, so Jenny, you have a question here. What is a PSA? It's actually a lab draw that you get done as a male to see what the levels are, and it has to do with the prostate. It's a antibody that's in there that they can detect it and see if it's too high. So if your PSA is too high, then they have to do more testing, which could be like the exam as well as doing a biopsy. And by the way, I just want to put out there a disclosure. I am not a doctor. I'm a nurse. I'm not trying to diagnose you. If you have any questions about yourself or any family member, please go to the doctor. We are only up here giving you informational session. Again, we are not up here to diagnose you or anything. So please see your provider for any questions or anything like that in reference to your body or anybody else's. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the key again with us men going to the doctor. My wife, my two daughters, they go to the doctor. It's just something that I've always tried to stay up on. I'm a former athlete, and I've always tried to take care of myself. So as soon as I think something is wrong, I'll usually go to the doctor. But most men, it's just something we just don't want to do, and especially when you get around 50, it's like they gotta stick their finger up my what? Most men doesn't want that to happen. Fortunately, 6 years after I had prostate cancer, a lot of the methods that they do are so much different and better. Even the treatment for prostate cancer has advanced so much just in the 6 years since I had it. It's incredible.
And that was good. I heard when you and Tasha were talking a little bit earlier, you did say like you don't have to go and have that procedure because I think that's what shut most men down. Like, oh no, you're gonna test my manhood, right?
Yeah,
So
they have blood tests now. They have a few different tests, I believe, now to test you for prostate cancer, other than just colonoscopy, and there are others also. But that's not something that men should be afraid of, especially if it's something that had I gotten the finger in the rectum 2 years ago, I may still be living. That's
Right.
what's more important. So
Right. And just to go over this, I want to go over this and let y'all know the risk for prostate cancer. Of course, like I said earlier, there's 1 in 8 men that was diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime. But prostate cancer is more likely to develop in older men and in non Hispanic Black men. About 6 cases in 10 are diagnosed in men who are 65 or older. But as you can see, Samad, wasn't 65 or older, and it is rare with men under 40. But the average man diagnosed is 66. But of course, those are statistics that they have because the majority of the people are over that age. But again, it can happen to you at an early age. So don't just think because I'm a certain age it can't happen to me, because it can. Just do your
I
diligence
tell
and get
I
checked.
tell the guys that I talk to, it's not about if you're going to get it, it's when you're going to give it and get it. And I'm a firm believer that something happened, and I don't want to be the Tuskegee, conspiracy theorist, but
Right.
I think something happened to us men in the 50s and 60s where we were getting vaccinated and tested, and I really believe this in my heart. That's why most of us still had that mark on our arm from when we was getting stuck in the arm when we were little kids. And it's just something with black men that we all get it, and I just don't think it's just something that's in our DNA or our heritage. It's I think something caused it in us at a very higher rate than any other ethnicity.
And that could be so. In order to find that out, we definitely have to do some research and see, have they done any research? Like, what were their set times? How many men were included? What were those men given at the same age?
Yes.
Then they can do the study and find out. So that would actually be a good research project for a graduate student.
So, Samad, how did it affect your family? How did it affect you shared with us that if you don't mind me disclosing, you were a public servant. How did it affect that portion of your life?
Everyone in my family, I'm kind of like, for my family, I'm that guy. I'm the glue. I'm not the oldest. I have a few brothers that are older than me, but I'm the focal point. I keep everybody in touch with everybody. I make sure all my nieces, nephews, great nieces and nephews, everybody. So when they found out that I had cancer, it was really a big thing. And I can say that I had such great family support, and I spoke about it a little bit. This is very important because prior to my wife is a breast cancer survivor, and prior to her having it, my sister had it. And all I remember was calling my sister, checking on her. You okay? How's things? You good? That was it. And I didn't realize how serious it was until I had to actually physically deal with it with my wife. So for me, it wasn't too bad because I think I was diagnosed, say, in February. I had my prostate removed by June. So it was a quick process for me. I didn't do the radiation or any of that stuff, which is probably my biggest regret. And I tell people, if you have prostate cancer, do your own research. I was petrified.
Right.
So I told them to take it out. Take it out. Subsequent to that, after I had my prostate removed, maybe 2 months later, I went to a doctor. I had the flu. And the doctor who was in my network looked at my charts and he asked me, he said, can I ask you a question, Mr. Abdel? He said, why did you let them take your prostate out? And I looked at him like, like, what are you talking about? He says, I'm looking at your numbers. Yes, you had it, but it's one of the slowest growing cancers that exists. He said, you're a young man. He said, why would you let them, this is something that and one of the methods of treatment was to just monitor it time. But he said, This is something that I could have dealt with for probably 10 or 15 years before I had to even get aggressive with any radiation. And I kind of blew that off. At that particular time, my personal physician retired and I got a new physician, and she told me the same thing. So since then, they have CyberKnife. They have so many better treatments for prostate cancer now than they did 6 years ago. And I'm blessed that I'm practically 100% recovered, especially in the sexual area. And I say that because that's what most men are scared of. If I lose my prostate, I'm not going to be able to have.
And that's where I was going next, because I'm like, most men are like, And I was gonna say, how did that work out for you? Like it was fine.
It was a while. It was a while. You know, you're talking about somebody who's been sexually active most of their teen. You know, since they were a teen, you just can't. Nothing's happening down there for 3, 4, 5 months. You know, and in some cases, again, I know men who don't ever recover, and that was my biggest concern. And of course, your wife going to tell you, "Oh, that ain't a big issue."
That's your manhood, right?
No, you go ahead and get it out. And I thank my Lord that I'm 6 years later, I'm maybe 90-95% recovered, and I don't have any problems in that area. But that is the main reason why guys don't do it. I know someone my age, and he had the surgery 2 years before I did, and he has problems.
Yeah.
He hasn't recovered yet in that.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that once you're diagnosed and then you go into recovery, and this is particularly for our people, because people like to think I can eat and still do some of the things. Like how did you change your diet after being diagnosed?
Again, because I'm pretty good with that. I've always been good with my eating and stuff. So my weight, my blood pressure, I didn't have any other underlying ailments at all. So that wasn't a factor that I considered, but the doctors did tell me that there's certain things that you shouldn't eat. There's certain things that you shouldn't do. And again, I just think that I was blessed to be able to heal naturally on its own without anything else. Because once they take it out, it's really a wrap. There's nothing else you have to be concerned with. I really didn't ask all the questions all over again. So from a sexual standpoint, I was like a 12-year-old. My body had to learn itself all over again. And again, not to gross anyone. I know this is an adult show, but once you remove your prostate, you can't ejaculate. The prostate is where the pressure builds up, and then when you climax, you're able to ejaculate. You can't do that anymore. You can still make it clear to any of the brothers who's listening, you can still have an orgasm. That don't change, but you're never gonna ejaculate again.
Wow. So
they didn't tell me that.
There's actually people that had penile implants after their prostate cancer and prostate removed.
Yes.
And it's and the medical term for not being able to function that way is erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
So some people are not able to erect anymore. So I mean that's point blank. But like you were saying about you wish that you would have learned more about it. That's the thing. When you find out about something, get a second opinion, because of course you're high levels, you're upset, you go through all these emotions, and then you just, sometimes make irrational decisions or irrational decisions, because you may say, take it out. Like you said, take it out. But who's to say if you didn't take it out that later on in life, it could affect you. Yeah. I do know someone who had prostate cancer and they died at an early age. They didn't even turn 50. Wow. They had prostate cancer and they were battling it and didn't get it taken out. And then it popped up again and they went for treatment and they didn't make it.
Well, see,
so that's the kind of thing that the cancer cell can replicate so fast.
And see, that's what it was with me. You have to consider a lot of factors. How old are you? Yep. How healthy are you? There are a lot of things. And again, considering my situation at the time, had I considered those basic factors, I can tell you that I would never have gotten my prostate removed at that time, at that particular time. They said my levels were so low that some cancer specialists didn't even consider it cancer. But because some did, it was like, no, cancer is cancer to me. And again, not having the knowledge and not doing the research on my own, I was like, nope, I want it gone.
Right.
That was my decision. And I really do regret it.
And that also may be a cultural genocide, right? So if we can do this to Black men, then we don't have any Black babies, even with women, right? Because women have, hysterectomies, and it's proven that they have told Black women to remove everything,
Yes.
right? And it wasn't quite necessary, and I know that because someone personal I know that happened to her, and she was 36, and she said, I didn't have to do that at 36.
Yes.
I could, and then that affects your body because when a woman has a menses every month, it restores vitamin D in her bones. So now you're if you're not taking the proper supplements, you can now have osteoporosis. So I think they do this stuff to us, and it's important, as Tasha say, that we always get second and third opinions. And if you're not advocating for yourself, nobody will, right?
I didn't get any second opinions. I was like, nope, I want it gone. And again, I regret that. That is my biggest regret probably in my life to this day, that, I just, I mean, I didn't have any more. Was never interested in having any more children at that time.
I was done.
30, 37, 36, 30, 28, and 21. So I need more children.
You were good, right? You had contributed to society, right?
Yeah. 4 children. Wow. 4 children. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something to think about.
Right. But I'm always a firm believer that God allows us to go through things so that we can be a testimony to others.
Absolutely.
Right. So even though it happened to you, it could have happened at a younger age where you were not able to have children. It happened at a place where you were kind of midway life, but your story can propel thought in someone else's mind, or it can educate the next young man or older man for what they could possibly do. But I never knew that was one of the slowest growing cancer. So this is all information to me. And when I hear what
depends on the level. It depends on the level.
Yeah, it depends on the level.
That's not the slowest.
At stage 1, it's extremely slow. If you detect it at
that's what he means, stage 1.
Right. Okay.
Stage 2 is a little bit more aggressive. And then
3 and then 4.
3 and then so yeah. I mean, let me clarify that. Stage 1, you can kind of like monitor. And I think the process was called wait and see, something to that effect. And that would have probably been the best option for me.
Okay.
My spot that they detected on my prostate was inside or closer to the middle. So at that point, it was not a chance that I had to be worried about it spreading to my bladder or anything. So it was definitely something that, but again, I didn't find this out again until after. And I'm blaming it on myself, not the doctors. I think, it's about money. And I think that surgeon wanted to let's get that thing out of you,
And if you're a public servant, you had good insurance. So, and that's another thing. Depending on how where you are from a medical standpoint, insurance, they won't even touch you if you don't have insurance. I was telling them last week how a friend of mine had stage 4 breast cancer. They wouldn't touch her, would not touch, to the point where her breast rotted off. And the day she received medical coverage from the government, I always get those two mixed up. She started bleeding profusely, and she passed out. So if you have insurance, they'll take care of you.
Yeah, they were right. They said, let's get that thing out of you. What do you think?
Right.
All for it. Yeah, I don't want no cancer inside me.
But Samad, I think that would be normal. Anyone who would be died, because the first thing, our guest last week, the first thing you hear about cancer, immediately you think death. So people say, let me get this out. So I think that would have been a natural response of anyone, especially if you were I don't want to deal with this for the rest of my life. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so just speaking about that, I did also found out that there are, and I'm going to put that in the chat box right here, there are actually a zero prostate cancer run walk, and they actually have some coming up now. We have some comments over here, Tammy.
No disrespect to any of the breast cancer people. My sister and my wife are survivors.
Can you post those questions so
most
we can
men
get those
don't know
answers?
that last month was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Most men don't know this. They don't know that the color for prostate cancer is like a sky bluish, off bluish. Most men don't even know this. And I say to them all the time, we make a great big thing about breast cancer, which we should, and we should actually do more. I said, but we don't do anything for prostate cancer awareness. My bike club,
they have a walk, and there's actually a walk near you guys.
And see, I didn't hear anything about it. You know,
yeah.
so that's the kind of stuff that I mean.
I'm
We're
going to
doing
share that information as soon as we get
please,
some of these questions completed.
please. Yeah. Says
Tammy,
Samad,
you're
are you at
muted.
peace with your decision to remove your prostate? Yes, I am at peace now. You know, at first when I found out the information that I should have found out prior to the surgery, I was really upset. And but you know, now I'm good because I'm very healthy and I'm able to do everything that I could do prior to the surgery. So yeah, I'm fine with the decision now. I wouldn't recommend it, and if someone came to me and they said this was my Gleason scores, this is what I would give them the best advice. Do your own research. You know, ask people who've had it, who've dealt with it, and get more than one opinion. Get two or maybe even three opinions from different doctors. Just don't go with, you know, even if it's a trust. Like my doctor I'd known for years,
Right.
you know, and I trusted him, and he still thinks that I made the right decision. But
And you
you know,
could have. You wouldn't know. It could have just advanced to stage 2 and skipped 3 and went to 4. You
it
you
went to
just
four.
don't know. You
Yes,
you never know.
yes.
Okay, so here's Jenny has another question. At what age should men request a prostate exam?
They prefer you do it at the age of 50. That's when everybody normally get their prostate screening done. But if you're having issues with any type of discomfort in your scrotum or your penis area, then you should get it checked. You should
Uh,
recommend that when you go to your primary care provider.
yes. Yeah, I was 40, around 46 or 47 when I started having the problems with the enlarged prostate. And actually, my doctor at that time did say that it's recommended at 40, but most black men should really start getting tested around. It's recommended at 50, but most black men should start around 40, 45, as opposed to the 50, because we get it at such a higher rate than any other ethnicity.
And the only reason that I'm saying at 50, because prostate screening is a free screening at the age of 50. Unless you have a diagnosis and you get it done before 50, or you're having a issue, then your insurance will cover it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Just want to let everybody know that. So if you get it before 50, you have to have some type of symptoms that the doctor said, oh, well, we need to do a prostate screening. Otherwise, sometimes the insurance don't cover it, and people are like, well, why didn't they cover it? So just make sure if you go that, they believe me, they know how to code it where the insurance can cover it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. And Jenny had another question. What are other symptoms besides wanting to use the bathroom frequently?
Not having a good stream when you're urinating, not being able to empty your bladder correctly. Most
Bleeding.
Shouldn't say most men, all men. Again, I had the blood in my urine. Most men will know when something is wrong. You know, especially if they're 50 years old, they don't know that something's different. Then they have some other issue. You'll know if something is going wrong down there. You can have enlarged testicles, one large and one isn't. So that there are a lot of other symptoms that, again, some of us just ignore and just say it'll be okay and we'll get better. That's why they don't go get checked.
Right.
And it's ultimately the fear factor too, right?
Yeah, fear is probably the biggest factor in all of it. Yep.
So most of them you can have burning while urinating. I know other people think it's something else. It can be, a STD disease.
Well, if you ain't riding dirty, that shouldn't even be a right?
You can feel that your bladder is not emptying all the way. So that means your bladder is where the urine is collected. So whenever you go to the restroom and you void and you still feel like you got to void
that was
some
one
more,
of my symptoms also. Yes.
That's one of the symptoms. Of course, when he said increase of going frequent nights, getting up, going to the restroom, and it's not that much urine coming out and you feel like you can't hold it, which can also be a bladder infection too. But this is just some symptoms for both. So either way, get it checked.
You got to get yes.
Back pain is another one. Of course, that can mimic another issue. But pain in your testicles, weakness or like numbness in your legs, they're saying that because some of the feeling of your scrotum has related to your leg area. So I guess you can feel some discomfort in your leg. And then like a loss, of bladder control. You can just start voiding on yourself.
And that makes sense, Samad, that you would cross those symptoms with cycling. Right, because there's a lot going on. I figured that out this weekend, sir.
Do you know? Do you know how many women I usually try to be delicate about it? I teach a safety class, teach a few different cycling classes who complain about. I like to call it they junk. Complain about they junk hurt when they cycle. I said because you don't have your seat. Because there's different things your seat can do, and a lot of times people just raise it or lower it. When the seat actually, you can lift it, you can tilt it, you can slide it back, you can slide forward. They don't know that. So if you have your seat adjusted properly, you can basically avoid those particular issues.
And also wearing the right pair of underclothing for men. Boxers. What I'm saying.
But also for cycling, they have the padded shorts, right?
Yes.
I had mine on because I already knew what it was hitting for. I was like, oh no.
They help. They help.
Right. And that's what I was going to tell you. They have padding, different things that men can actually have on their scrotum to make sure that, it can protect them as well.
Yeah.
Just like the baseball players, they wear them. Baseball players wear a scrotum protector.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So here, I just want to show y'all, this is the website, and I did put it on online where they have a run walk where you can go to. And then let me go to, if you go to that website, and I'm going to try to go to it as soon as I can get to it and show you how to navigate on that website. Where is it here? Okay, let's do this. Copy. I'm actually going to show y'all how to go because actually it's coming up. Actually, it's in November. These.
Oh, okay. But but prostate cancer month is in September, right, Samad?
Yes, September.
Okay. But unfortunately, when something is dealing with men, you guys unfortunately always get the lower end of the stick. So I think that's important too, Samad. Maybe you can even pilot your own ride during September.
We're definitely we met about that in our next September, our bike club, we're going to do a lot of stuff in regards to prostate cancer. We're going to try to highlight.
Well, you always have us as allies to use this as a platform. So if you say, hey, look, ladies, I need to, because once you come on, for us, it's like your family. So if you say, Tammy and Tasha, I need to come on and just do a blurb, then that's what you do. Or you send me something and I'll post it on all of my pages.
We'll do, definitely.
Yeah.
So as you can see, you can register here to actually start the class. Start the registration to do the walk. But then let me actually go to the registration so it can show you how you can actually do this. Let's go here. So when you go to the screen, can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. You just type in your zip code. For instance, I typed in my zip code here in Durham, and they tell me there's a walk coming up November 6th in Greensboro and Charlotte, November 20th. And I'm Samad, because I still want to call you Ahmad. Okay. What is your zip code?
07203.
07.
07203.
Oh.
203. 07203.
Okay. Okay, so here you have North Jersey, which is November 6th, South Jersey, November 6th.
Wow.
And what's the Samad, we should walk. What is the walk? How many is it, a 5K or?
I didn't actually get into it. Let me see if it has it on here.
Oh yeah, it does. No, what's the November?
Let's go. Let's go. I want to go to North Jersey and see if it pulls up anything.
Okay.
Okay, so you plus New Jersey, we're 0 strong together. I don't see how. I guess when you register, they probably will let you know. It probably. Oh, here we go. Let's see some details. I don't see anything on here as far as they do got COVID. They do got COVID pandemic stuff coming up. So it says, and right now I see it says due to pandemic, North Jersey has moved to a virtual event.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
got it.
okay. So they moved to a virtual event.
Wait,
Um,
this is.
and they have fundraisers too where you can get shirts actually.
Oh,
Go back
T-shirts.
up, Tosh. Go back up. It said I was wanted to read what it said. It says
You
um,
register.
the event will now be held through the Change Running app. Okay. Okay. Well, that's
Oh
working
yeah,
on.
Charge Running app. So you'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to run and walk together at the same time, no matter whatever your course you choose. So you can get started that way. COVID has
Oh,
stopped
so
a lot of stuff, of
yes,
yeah,
course.
yes.
unfortunately. But that's good
But
to know, Samad.
yeah, you can actually get it,
Absolutely,
do a
absolutely.
T-shirt, get T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was big on it. The first year I had the wristband I used to wear, and I had some T-shirts, but no one was interested in my prostate cancer story. So
Wow, they raised a lot, and the goal is 80, and they passed the eighty
wow,
thousand mark.
81,
But
20.
I'm realizing that this cycling community is very strong. So
Yes,
if you put it out there, people will go
yes.
for it.
They
Yeah,
got
that's
some
what's up.
fundraising stuff
Tosh,
here
I
of
see
people.
Hoboken. It says something in Hoboken. Go up.
That's who donated.
Okay.
Those are
Hoboken.
top teams. These are people who are teams Hoboken Strong. I
Oh,
guess that they team. That's how much they raised.
So then you can even join a team.
Yeah, you can actually make your own team, like the Sweat Chicks. Did I say that right?
No, you get it right, Tasha. I
just
don't know
mess
what
Sweat
you
sweat
got
check
done.
all up, right?
Sweat check lady riders.
Sweat
Right.
Checks. Sorry, Jenny. You can actually in honor donate under that group name.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So and it's as little as amounts as possible, and they got the largest group is Hoboken Strong, New Jersey. Go Hoboken, that's my hometown.
Well,
Every
Samad, you have a partner, and I think it's adamant that we get it out there, particularly for men, because a lot of times, like you said, when you're just talking about men, you're talking about the private area. It's a shame factor, and it shouldn't have to be. So
right.
men aren't allowed to be emotionally expressive. So I think if it's something that you want to do, and you say, hey Tam, let's start a walk in Jersey City or Newark or Plainfield, just let me know.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, Jenny, I saw it on the shirt, but when I'm navigating, I don't see the screen anymore.
It says sweat check Tasha.
I wasn't on the screen. When I'm
Oh,
navigating,
sorry.
you can't
Yeah,
see the screen.
Jenny, I'm gonna
See,
have you.
as you could tell, Tammy sits back and can see the whole screen while I'm
Oh,
trying
there
to
you go.
multitask. So that's why I tell her, Tammy, can you do the comments sometimes? Like,
Tasha was like 5 comments today. Cut it out. Well, Samad, we thank you so much again.
yes.
Thank you for being transparent.
Doing what you're doing.
We try.
And I'll be reaching out to you. I'm gonna get with Jenny, and hopefully we can set up
Let's go.
walks and do some other things. So
Yep. So let's make it
So,
happen. But
you do. Thank you guys.
no, thank you because you were transparent, and I know for men that's not a very easy thing to do, right? So
It was difficult, but we got to get this stuff out there. So.
Yep, we do. Inform.
That's right. So everybody, that concludes our night. But we like to just thank Samad. I still want to call you Ahmad.
But she acting like she's slow.
Thanks, Samad, for joining us, and thanks, Jenny, for introducing you to us and to our podcast and coming on
And you
here.
now have allies here in Raleigh.
Yes.
Well, Tasha's in Durham and I'm in Newark, so you got us forever now. Once
Yes.
you come, we'll be calling you back like Samad, because we're gonna have Ilias back on as well.
Gotcha.
Yes. So, guys, if you're watching, tuning in, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We are on YouTube at Find the and symbol Taylor, and we're on Facebook, Find and the word and Taylor, and it's TAYLORED, like the last name. Also, we're also on Twitter as well, so you can find us on there. If you have any questions or anything like that, just come on here and pop in your questions or whatever comments, or if you want a topic you want us to talk about, come on in, join us. Also, you can also send the email to us as well. Here's our email here for those that would like to chat with us personally, and even just to give us your feedback. That's actually good. We would like more feedback as well. What can we do to improve this podcast? Or what are we doing that's not so great, or you feel that we can do improvement on? We take all of those. You're never too young to actually get recommendations or get feedback from people.
And Tasha, before we go, I just want to say that next week we're going to have the infamous Kim Farrar, and we're going to be talking about her amazing design. So I was a little laid back about posting this show, so that's why it's kind of a little slow tonight, but I'll be back on it. I'll try to get on it next week a little bit earlier.
Anyway, guys, y'all have a great night, and you have just been fine
and
and tailored. Have a good
Thank
night,
you. Have a
everybody.
good night. Bye. Thanks, Jenny.